All right, let's get it started, boys.
Yeah.
Hello and welcome everyone to the Best in Slot Radio Podcast, a podcast focused on Final Fantasy XIV, its gaming features, as well as how it compares to other games against the market. I'm one of the hosts, DTG, and with me as always is going to be Ez and Nox. Say hi, boys.
Sup, homies?
Yeah, I'm thinking I'm back.
There it is. So welcome everyone to episode number 3 for Best in Slot. This is going to be called Shadowbringers. We're going to take a deep dive into one of my favorite expansions / games. Expansions. Wow, I can't even talk. Originally, I had this structured to go patch by patch, but we're actually going to do this a little differently. Let's talk about some of the new features, particularly the jobs. So I know both of you guys really like Gunbreaker.
Pew pew.
Now that we're in, how do you feel?
Pew pew slash.
Oh man, it feels so intuitive. It really it's once you get your handle of it, you just get better with it. Like there's a low skill floor, if you will,
Okay.
but a moderately high ceiling, I'd say, just to kind of know and understand your flow of cooldowns and whatnot. And,
Oh yeah, for sure. Like with everything else they removed from the other tanks, Gunbreaker is easily the most involved tank there is right now.
Okay.
Dark Knight was the poster child, but Gunbreaker was easily my favorite tank.
So mine is only at level 60. I only ever unlocked it and never really played it. What's how long would you say it took you to understand how to do it correctly, if you will?
If you DPS melee main, not long at all.
Okay.
It's you're doing the tank job position, but you have the rotation of a melee DPS. A very simple, it's a 1-2-3 and a AoE combo. It's not super hard. It's not rocket science.
To add on to that, think of it as think of the complexity of your positionals is shifted to the complexity of knowing when to pop what cooldown. Not just, oh man, drop a cooldown. Okay, are you going to drop your DR?
For sure.
Are you going to drop your bolide? You better not be dropping that bolide.
So
The only time you drop Bolide is at the very beginning of the dungeon to scare your healer.
the reason I asked that question, and I specifically brought it up, is because in my static, we've got 2 tanks who both have been, one has been playing Gunbreaker, and she... when I asked her, she had said, "Oh, it's really fun, but if you miss continuation, I guess it's called, things start to kind of get a little weird." Is that kind of true?
So, leveling up Gunbreaker, it feels like a fast tank class for sure.
Okay.
Getting continuation at max level makes it even faster.
Wow. Okay.
Because the idea is that you're going through your combo and you're clicking continuation in between each part of that combo.
Okay.
So it goes from a 3-button combo to a 6-button combo at max level.
Wow. Okay.
And it's super fast, super streamlined.
Yeah, it's an OGCD weaved in with GCDs. It's like an easy weaver is the easy way to put it.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay.
I think that just is something that comes with playing and getting used to the class, like anything else.
Sure.
I know Nox and I can say for sure, Nox, I don't ever miss a continuation proc. That's just not a thing.
No. Like how I have my keybind set up, it's if I mess it up, it's literally like I'm face rolling my keyboard.
My thing is definitely what Nox was talking about.
Okay.
Gunbreaker feels very different from the other tanks in that I die a lot more easily on a Gunbreaker, and it's all about figuring out when you're supposed to be hitting your defensives and when.
Okay.
See, I played a little bit of Dark Knight, and I don't know. I couldn't get the hang of it. Not necessarily the hang of it. It was like low 30s, so I can't really say I even gave it justice.
It's all about your bubble, my dude. I don't even know if you have your bubble at low 30s.
No.
Yeah.
It's all about Darkest Night. That shit is a godsend.
Okay. But that's kind of why I was mentioning the intuitiveness of the Gunbreaker, because I was coming in from melee experience of a ninja, where it's you need to know your goddamn rotation, you need to know your opener, you need to know your time break points to know if you're gonna drop this buff to make sure the party kills and it executes the actual synchronization, so to speak, at the right time.
Okay.
So, like, I took that aspect of, like, just knowing what to do and when to do it, and then really tried to apply it to Gunbreaker, and it's just like, holy shit. It really does just revolve around, I need to make sure I stay alive via these cooldowns.
Yeah.
And, like, that was it. Like,
that's kind of nice. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, it just feels much more involved on the Gunbreaker than it does on the other tanks, which
Sure.
I see as a plus, genuinely. Gunbreaker is my favorite tank. Aesthetically, I like Dark Knight because I'm an edgelord, but gameplay-wise, Gunbreaker is head and shoulders above the other tanks.
Okay.
it's funny, dude. Like, I'm a steampunk at heart. I think that's kind of why Gunbreaker, like, just sings to me.
Yeah, and the reason I wanted to ask is because so other than unlocking it, the reason I haven't tried to play it is because I'm so deep that I'm waiting for the changes that are coming up, and we're gonna talk about the changes in the next episode. But without spoilers to that, are you guys happy with the upcoming changes?
Yeah, they gave me exactly what I wanted, which is
Okay.
there's barely any changes at all to Gunbreaker specifically, except that you have like. I think like an extra cartridge or something, which every Gunbreaker was like, please don't change us.
Yeah, well, and I saw some media tour where they talked about a lot of people who play Gunbreaker talked about the extra cartridge and they got to play it, and now they feel like it's too much. So I'm interested to see because, I'm a huge FF8 fan, so I cannot wait to play. But I just wanted to pick your guys' brain a little bit before we, or before I'm able to even play it. So, okay, so Dancer. Either of you guys play it extensively?
I am actually in the opposite position as to you in this.
Okay.
My Dancer is like maybe 10 levels above what it starts at, but it's fun, and I wasn't expecting it to be fun. Maybe that's just because like I'm a bit biased because aesthetically and like, gameplay wise, I'm like, I don't know if I want to be a dancer, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But the class is so smooth and the animations are so pretty.
Yeah, that's something I actually hear all the time. Is like the animations are like bar none, like some of the coolest on the Dancer.
So not a lot of experience for you then, Nox.
No, unfortunately, it's on my list. But when I come to ranged DPS, I mean, you can't beat my lasers and guns with my machinist,
That's
And
fair.
if I want lasers and explosions, I'm just gonna go and play my Gunbreaker.
Pew pew.
Yeah.
All of the guns.
So I have a Dancer at 80, and I specifically leveled the Dancer over the Bard because the Bard is like really boring to me. And Dancer is very simple. I will be the first to tell anyone it is extremely simple. When you understand the basics of the class and how it operates, it's very easy to execute. From what I understand, they're not getting a lot next expansion, but I agree with both of you. The animations are absolutely fantastic. So definitely excited. It was a very fun class, and I will definitely play it come Endwalkers. So
Nice.
All right, so new races. We got Hrothgar and Vieira. Did either of you play them?
I've seen plenty of Vera.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, everybody's seen it. I did actually just roll around on I just made a Hrothgar to screw around with, to actually see if I wanted to Fantasia to it.
Okay.
And, it just,
It was beefy.
I don't know. Yeah, it felt a little clunky, and I don't know, I just I wasn't digging it.
Sure.
I like the aesthetic. I really do. I wanted to really like the race as a whole. That sounds bad. I really wanted to like the Hrothgar as a playable character. We'll say,
Right.
but like it's just I don't know. Like maybe it's just me, but it just felt clunky.
It's fair.
No, I feel that. Like it's the same reason. Like I can't play something like the Mel Elizin or the Cure. I don't know what it is with Mel Elizin, but they have like a rod in their spine from
they're
their
too
waist
stiff.
up.
Yeah, that's exactly why I didn't pick up Male Elizin.
So I totally get what Nox is
So
saying with
stiff.
like I can't, there's something you can't quite put your fingers on it sometimes,
Right.
but there's just something wrong about it and it doesn't feel good to play.
Right.
Meanwhile, bunny women are fucking. everywhere.
Well, you could have stopped at fucking.
We gotta wait for Endwalker.
That's fair.
Then it will be
That's
fucking.
fair. Yeah, with the male bunnies.
Speaking of that, actually, the
everywhere.
male bunnies, not to jump the gun or anything.
No, you good.
But you bet your butt I got a Fantasia ready for a male bunny boy.
Nice.
It's just all the cat boys in a single night are going to vanish from the face of Final Fantasy.
I can agree on that one. I'm not going to be one of them, but
I won't either.
I know a lot of people will.
I'm staying cat boy. Goddamn.
Yeah.
Join the bunny boy revolution.
Okay, so with Shadowbringers, we'll talk about MSQ a little bit later. Dungeons. Spoilers are going to happen. If anyone's listening right now, if you haven't gotten here, spoilers are going to happen. That's just how it goes. I think we should go, I guess, the ones that are part of the queue and not the patches. So that would be Holminster Switch, which I felt like the Tesleen fight was super boring, but the aesthetic was awesome of that dungeon.
Yeah, for sure. Like the last boss of that dungeon is for sure my favorite of like all of the different light enemies.
Yeah.
That design fucking slapped so hard.
The monster itself, like the artwork is just so cool.
I don't know if either of you have played it, but it like screams Nobody from Kingdom Hearts.
I didn't even think about that, dude.
Yeah, like the whole white solid silhouette thing going on, and like,
dude, that's ingenious.
That
totally is like some monstrous nobody.
Like, just you could slap the Nobody symbol on his forehead, and it would fit right into Kingdom Hearts.
All right, that's kind of sweet. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't have experience with that, but I like when games have inspirations from other games that aren't necessarily related. Which is kind of sweet.
Well, fun fact, all of the Eden raids that we'll talk about in just a little bit, designed by the same guy who made Kingdom Hearts.
That's pretty funny. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
If you watch the cinematics, you see it.
And not only that, like thinking of like the story, like the actual story of like the Eden raids, like I'll kind of hint on it when we talk on it a little bit, but it's interesting how it's like going to another world.
Right. Absolutely right. Yeah. I'm really interested to see how that kind of pans out, if you will. So, okay, what else? What was second one? Was it Katana Revolve or no? Don Meg.
Yeah, it was Don Meg.
So I played it with a buddy, and not to specify, but that is a very psychedelic dungeon.
Oh,
and
for sure. It
was great to us.
It's like vomit. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just like taking old like Brothers Grimm fantasy and vomiting it all over your screen.
Yeah.
That fucking gecko is they're monsters. They just
Monsters,
drag people.
Yeah.
It's like, holy shit, all of the subplot for this entire area with all the fairies and shit.
It was so good.
It's so dark.
Yeah, it's really dark.
The Angthon or Angthon,
yeah.
I think his last name is, or I don't know how to say it correctly. But man, that that boss fight was just like, dude,
so sick.
Yeah, like so unique, so fresh. Also, like
is there any other fighting game? I feel like I've maybe never experienced. Is there any other game or fight that has a bridge like that?
As many people as I see fall off of it, you wouldn't think so.
Yeah.
Very true. Very, very true. Yeah, I just don't.
The
that whole dungeon was so good, but that whole area is so dark, and like that just came after Tesleen was basically fucking stabbed.
Look, the gecko isn't the last boss. The bridge is. Let's be honest with ourselves.
Yeah. One thing that he turns into the squid monster, so that's pretty sweet as well.
Oh yeah, that's cool. So,
Quintana Revolve, I think both for its lore implications, but kind of what it was for that zone of the forest. Is it Ratika?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's such a cool aesthetic. Like,
loved it.
Just deep dive Aztec, and they made it work so well.
Well, we're all kind of the same age. I felt very Indiana Jones, and because of that, it made me enjoy it a little bit more. I got so excited I woke my kid up.
Oh no!
Yeah. Oh well, that's fine. My wife's gonna take care of her so we can continue on this route.
Nice.
So Katana, sorry.
Oh yeah, no.
Break free.
Yeah, no. It screams to me of like that Indiana Jones thing and like that. Oh god, I just thought something, and it's going to keep showing itself as we go through these instances, especially in these later on expansions. There is such a fun and unique difference to every single one of them that they do not feel samey. Yeah, like it just,
it's just fresh. Like that's the only way I can like really explain it. It just feels fresh.
And while I will admit it doesn't always feel good, Bridge, it still is fun and engaging and super aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah,
like I forget, is it the first boss in no yeah, like it's just, I think it's funny how like just going back a bit to the bridge boss from the last dungeon, how that can just really fuck a group over, and I thought it was hilarious.
It really could. It was actually like, I remember doing it when I was like first leveling, and I was just like, holy shit, this is actually difficult.
Yeah,
and I love that.
It's just a straight up DPS check. If you do not get enough people onto the other side to stop that dude, it's over. It's over.
That's the best part of it, in my opinion. I love knowing that it's like, all right, you're done.
To that point, I love that in raid, dungeon, boss design. A hard stop. It's either you got to hard break this DPS meter or this check, or everybody needs to make sure nobody's hit by this.
Right.
Like, those kind of fights, no matter how easy or like trivial they are, right? Oh, everybody needs to stand on a circle right now. Those fights make the player understand that there are things that are required of you for progression for the group. And
and there are consequences.
Yeah, exactly.
Which, like, okay, you got to do the fight a little bit better next time. Like, that's not that's fine to me.
As difficult and like funny as the bridge is, I've only ever like in a single run have only ever wiped to it a single time, and then it's not happened again.
Yeah, we wiped once, and it was because both DPS did not know you had to be inside the little portal, like beam me up, Scotty.
Yeah,
so they were DPSing from outside, and his health never went down,
right?
Because he's immune. So, that was kind of whack. All right,
my thing.
Sorry.
Oh no, I was gonna say my thing whenever we wiped is like people were just in a rush.
Yeah,
I just tried to rush the bridge and just.
I found you can't sprint over it.
You're not trying hard mode. You're not trying hard mode. I do it every single time. I dragoon backflip onto that motherfucker.
So I did. I tried to rescue somebody across it, and that does not work. So they were at almost the end, and. It's pretty funny.
But I think the next one is Malaka's Well. So, I mean, I like the last boss of that one. It's very like super creepy angel art themed with all the wings and the little round circle face. Sure. I think his name is Sturge or something. But he was I thought that was such a cool boss because of just the way his mechanic worked. He showed you both of his different AoE abilities. Like, this is my one thing, here's my other thing. And now I'm going to clone myself 4 times, and every single one of me is going to do this. Yep. So I loved that mechanic. I thought that was super dope.
That was one of my favorites during the leveling process. I think Don Meg is my absolute favorite, but I think the well was like. I mean, the lore implication at the end. I think probably made that the reason, but
for sure,
we'll touch on that later. But it's a good dungeon. Also,
the golem had a bucket on his head. Like, come on,
how funny! Oh man. So, okay, what was next? Malik as well.
Mount Gulg.
Yeah, I was gonna say I realized I muted and I did not forget to unmute. I was trying to talk and I was wondering.
I'm
why.
so sorry.
No, it's my bad. It's only my bad. I was I was just gonna say I really like the first time I encountered the boss. Well, first of all, I had to look up. I'm like Melika, what is that one again? And I saw storage and I'm like, oh yeah, I remember. Like it's just a memorable fight. Like it's good shit, absolutely. And it's kind of one that keeps you on your toes.
Yeah, and I like that. I definitely feel like these dungeons were a step up as far as difficulty goes from the leveling dungeons of Stormblood. That's not to say that Stormblood did not have hard dungeons, because there are definitely a few where you're like, fuck, when you queue into them. But yeah, I think for leveling dungeons, these were some of the hardest. And then that goes hand in hand with Mount Gulg, which I think aesthetically is very pleasing. I really liked that storyline and the way that the dungeon really carried it.
All right, so nextly is good old Mount Gulg.
Am I not coming through?
Oh, no. Oh, sorry. We'll just
there.
cut that bit out. Yeah, sorry.
I
thought you were still talking. No, I thought you were still talking about the well.
Oh, sorry. No. I was talking about Gulg. Where you like it goes up the golem. And you just keep progressing through. I think that's just fantastic.
Yeah.
Especially with the story. Like, I think all these dungeons really tied the story together.
I love how that really dungeon had a lead-in into the final raid, or the encounter with the last Light Warden.
Right. Yeah.
That was really cool to see.
Oh, man.
The little tiny angel wings on him still fucking get me.
Still fuck me up, yeah. Like, why? Why?
But, dude, then that transformation?
Oh, no, he's hot!
Well, but here's what fucks me up, is the idea of a transformation and then the little wings. I only think about one thing every time I see it now, and it honestly makes me view him differently. And that's A Bug's Life with the caterpillar who turns into a butterfly.
My God.
And you can't unsee it. And I just ruined you guys' night.
See, I originally was like, oh my God, they put a Pillar Man reference from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure in here.
That could be
it.
This
is fantastic. But now he's always the caterpillar. Well, he's always the caterpillar to me now. Thank you.
Oh, man. Yeah, it's... Man, that was really good.
Also, a fun fight in Gulg is so the last Light Warden fight. Well, she's not a Light Warden; she's like a lieutenant, I guess.
Right.
Her fight's really fucking cool.
Yeah,
I like that. It's a similar thing with like storage, where you're looking for, instead of you're dealing with all of her clones, you're looking for just the real version, and you know that's where the safe spots are going to be. So that was a fun mechanic. Also, all of the people that just don't give a fuck about the wall boss and just stand wherever they want anyway.
Yeah, that drives me nuts as a healer, because I'm just like, dude, you more than likely just don't understand the mechanic, but you don't even try to run to anybody on a pillar or anything like that. It's so annoying.
It's not even like a super hard mechanic to like just avoid. It's like, as a tank, I'm going back and forth between two squares, and that's all I do.
The front two on the left.
Yeah, it's like
it drives me nuts, because I'm just like, is this hard? Like, I'm curious, is this genuinely hard? And it's not, so it definitely gets to me.
As a side note, I kind of have a mild bias on all of the leveling dungeon runs, because most of the time when I'm running them, I'm just blitzing through on like, because I like to level up DPS first when I'm going through in expansions. I like it because like I know I have like a queue time buffer, right? Where I've got like 5-10 minutes or so. Okay, cool. Let me see if I can wrap up this other side quest real quick, hit up an Aether Current real quick, and like that's a time I actually like the queue. So that was just an interesting point I thought I'd put out there.
Yeah, no, it's true. And I think what's interesting is for leveling dungeons, I seem to get the same 3 every time.
Says Tasha, get the fuck.
No, like it really depends on where like the large group of people leveling are. But for the last like 2 weeks, it's been Shadowbringer dungeons. But I only get Holminster, Dawn Meg, Quintana, and Mount Gulg. For some reason, Malik as well, like, never happens. And it drives me nuts.
You know, Nox, you want to hear the worst one to get in the random queue pop? It's Hockey Man or Hard Mode.
Hard mode. Yeah, I was just gonna say the hard mode is pretty fucked up.
That fucking sucks. That last boss is awful because
Yeah.
everyone is trying to just spurg it to death, and
that's
we
not
just
how it
wipe
works.
over and over.
It's too true. All right, cool. And then I think the last, it's not really a leveling dungeon, but we've got all the patch dungeons, which is what? Amarat, which no, that's part of 5.
Yeah, Amarat is the very end, the last dungeon you do at 80.
Right.
Right before the thing, you know.
Yeah. I know for sure. Amarat's a really weird dungeon to me. Everything's crumbling.
Yeah.
But it feels like it's just. Ugh.
It of all of the dungeons, it felt like the most set piece of all of them.
Yeah.
It's
Not
like,
only, it really felt like, I don't know how to put it in words. It was weird because it like they really did their best to like put you in that situation. Like that immersion level in there was like next level for a dungeon. Like
for sure.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Like it was awesome.
Yeah, I love the dungeon aesthetic. I love what you're going through. The bosses just seemed a little different to me, and maybe that's like a personal preference. It just felt like what we had just experienced from all the previous dungeons wasn't happening anymore. So it's just really weird.
Like as a dungeon, I think Amarat is solid. But I also feel like there's this kind of bias in me that's like, oh my god, it's my favorite. That's only because of what happens immediately after the dungeon.
Yep.
Yeah.
Man, that was good stuff.
Ironically, I didn't unlock the twinning until I had almost every other dungeon available.
But the memes! The memes!
Well, I didn't know where it was. I didn't realize it was right next to the entrance to the Crystal Tower, or not that, or whatever the room.
Yeah.
But twinning's great. I think twinning is a very, very fun dungeon.
It's so good. It might be my favorite in Shadowbringers, honestly, because the music is a fucking banger.
Yep.
And it's just such a fun dungeon. Like I'd say it's a tie for me between the twinning and Latoya's Relics, which we'll talk about in like not just a few minutes.
Yep.
Because Latoya's Relic is just such a fun, cutesy little dungeon, like the end boss and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually hate Latoya's Relic.
But the fights are all so much fun. You do the mud ball, and then you do the little fighty, watery, blobby thing.
I just didn't like why we were there. It just felt weird to me. Just I don't know, that whole portion of the MSQ was weird to me. So
I can agree with that. I feel like their comic / jovial insertion like they do in every Final Fantasy game, right? We were all knowing it was going to be here, right?
Yeah.
But how they did it here, it was a little bit more of a curveball than I expected.
Yeah.
Like I liked it, I'm not bashing on it over here, D. Jeez, man. But no, I definitely agree with you that it felt comparatively to the other dungeons, it did feel out of place.
It definitely felt like a different thing, but I guess that's why I like it, is because it was a different thing.
Sure.
It was engaging, it was fun, the fights were cutesy, and I remember all three of them for one reason or another.
Sure. So that has staying power, and that's a good thing.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I love the Grand Cosmos, which is like the first one you unlock from MSQ, I think, pre or post patches.
Right. Yeah.
Aesthetically, I just love going through some fucking weird old house. Not old house, the palace, I should say.
Yeah, and also super cool lore implications for who you used to be in a past life.
Yeah, loved it.
Not only that, but finding out more of just the civilization of the first ones and everything. It's super cool.
Yeah, I think they did a great job on that dungeon. And also the last boss, I can't remember the name right now, but I just love that fight. I think while the mechanics in theory are basic, I just really like how the fight's executed. And I just have a fun time every time I do that dungeon.
Nice.
Oh man, I wiped so hard the first time I did that place. I was like, why is everything getting bigger? I'm losing where I'm supposed to... No! And then I was dead. Because I went the wrong fucking way.
Yeah, it's. I think before you find out you're supposed to burn the furniture, you can definitely die very quickly. It's happened to me a couple times. Well, you just like a random teammate of yours is right next to the one that you're supposedly gonna burn, and then that's not how that works out. So, but okay, what comes after Cosmos?
A Nemesis Ainder, and
Cool.
I don't. Do either of you really remember much about this one? Because this one was kind of like.
I know it's underwater.
Yeah, it's another Amarat one, but it's kind of like, oh, you gotta go do the thing, and then
you gotta go to the
Y'shtola gets kidnapped at the
library.
end.
Yeah.
No, honestly, I think it's very forgettable. That is like my least favorite dungeon of the expansion.
I felt like it was just a worse kind of Amarat or what we were just talking about. It's like it was just a worse Grand Cosmos. So
Right.
I wasn't a huge fan of it. The last boss, like, mechanically was cool. She terrified me on a level like, ooh. Exactly. But the one after this one, Heroes Gauntlet.
Heroes Gauntlet is so tight.
That is such a good one.
What a great dungeon. I love every boss fight. I really like how it's laid out, and like what's happening in the story at the time is just killer.
I need the last boss's outfit as a glamour for my Dark Knight.
Pretty sweet.
I need it.
That would be pretty sweet, admittedly. What came after that?
After that was Latoya's Relics, which we went into a bit.
Yeah, it's too weird for where it's at. Like, that's tied with my worst. Like, it's just where the lore is of the story, as well as the way the fights are. Like, why is it all like you said? It's cutesy. Why? Yeah. Like, what are we doing?
Well, I mean, I guess with regards to. There are lore implications for why we're there and like why the things look the way they do there. Like the water thing was something Y'shtola made is like a 10-year-old girl, if that. And the reason the last boss is a big pork sign queen is because that's what
we're trying to create. I guess.
Exactly. Like it's the main hog queen to bring back all of the people that have been mind controlled, and it's like.
She creates more of the piggies to do it, basically. It's a piggy creating piggy.
I think I might have misinterpreted the story because I was expecting us to gain an item of some kind to help us create this.
We did, but we
in a weird, in a weird way, we did make an item. It just is live.
Yeah, I think that's what threw me off.
You guys know Full Metal Alchemist?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Edward.
No. No.
Nice.
Don't do that to me. Don't do that to me, you fucking monster.
Dude, we did that, you know? Like, we took a soul and we
No, two different things. Two entirely different things.
He's actually kind of true.
I did not take Y'shtola and shove her into a body of a pig, all right?
You're right. They did not tell us what soul we did take and put in there, did they?
No!
That's true. Actually,
Don't do this to me. Don't do this to me.
I mean, just throwing it out there. Like.
Yeah, he's not wrong.
So after that traumatizing dungeon,
it's the last one, right?
Yeah,
Pagothan?
Yeah, Pagothan. Which is kind of like the Hero's Gauntlet or Amarat for me. It's very set piecey. Like, it's entirely like go with regards to the story. And it's like you're going from one place to but it's so good. It's such a good dungeon.
Love it. Yeah, I love it. I think it's really. I like the layout. Just like
how
you navigate through.
The second fight is super cool. I like the way it's like you're fighting all these mind control Garlands, and then you get to fight Moon Bahamut at Lunar Bahamut at the end, and it's like,
that was so cool.
Yeah,
it was really interesting how like it was broken up and like. I did not see that coming. Like
no, not at all.
I was genuinely like, holy shit. what? Like,
yeah, just like mini Bahamut fight, and it's super cool.
Yeah,
dude, it was like a freaking event, though, man.
yeah,
like,
it was.
Dude, to get through that, you're looking at like a good hour and a half, man. Like that was
When it first came
intense. Yeah, like
Yeah.
it was.
Now it's all about speed runs. How fast can you get through it?
Yeah, I
Like,
noticed that on Expert Roulette.
As a tank, I do nothing but pull wall to wall in that dungeon, and it's so much fun.
I think I'm at a point where people inspect my gear and they're like, "All right, you're higher than 500. We can do this." It's like, all right. You know nothing about me, and yes, you want to do this. All right, that sounds great.
It's not always a great idea. I know there are DPS out there, and if you're listening, DPS, if you ever fucking pull for me again, I swear to God, I will find you.
It's
true.
clearly because you're not going fast enough, dude. What do you mean?
This is my
Clearly.
job, and if I'm not pulling faster, it's because the healer cannot keep up with me. God damn it!
Well, good tanks will look for that, whereas some people are like, "Oh, why can't
And
the
then
healer
it-
keep up?"
Exactly, and then it doesn't matter because DPS fucking samurai ass face over here is like, "I want more."
That's actually his official name.
I prefer the term DPS ninjutsu face, but
Nice ninjutsu face.
Hey, don't think you fucking mechanics over here are getting away with it either. I see you fucking shooting things when
I
I'm
see
not
you
looking.
walking out of my fucking Dokkan. Don't even.
My
You
salted
know it's
earth,
good.
My salted earth is over here. Your thing's over there. What is keeping me alive?
Well, so I also, speaking of that, not to get too detracted, I just found out that your like Huton or whatever the pool is,
Doton,
you're supposed to, you're supposed to do that before the fight starts, or some shit as part of the opener.
It is part of your opener, yep.
Yeah, so I had no idea, and I ran with a ninja the other night, and I was like, "Look at this fucking idiot." Oh my god. Yeah,
Little
it
did
is-
you know.
Yeah.
Look at this fucker, dude, dropping that shit now. What is he doing? And then it's like,
This fucking guy.
Yeah. I definitely paid the piper on that one.
Well, so since we wrapped up dungeons with that, do we want to go into trials, boys?
Yeah. So the trials 1 were all the leveling ones.
Yeah.
So we got Titania first, which I don't know if you guys have done the EX, but
No.
it's a pretty fun fight.
No, I take that back. I've tried it once, and I don't think I'll try it again.
It's got for the first one, like the first EX that came out, it has a steep learning curve, but once you get it, you get it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've cleared it like 45 times now. I have the mount.
Nice,
it's a really fun one. Once you learn the fight, you realize you're like, holy shit, this is fucking good.
Okay.
So I'd highly recommend that. Innocence, I don't know about you guys. It's a clusterfuck.
It is.
It is, but also like aesthetically, I love Innocence. Like,
Yeah.
he is such a
The
cool
throne.
looking boss.
Mm-hmm.
That I don't. Have you guys ever just taken a moment to really look at that whole arena setup?
I have screenshots.
It is
actually,
so
He's like
gorgeous.
I
Yeah.
agree.
Not that I
What's in his
advocate for
background?
G Shade, but
I wish there was a way to get like the when it goes to like Night Sky after you've beaten him in the cinematic.
Yeah.
I wish there was a way to go into there when it's like that because
Yeah,
it is
they won't.
it's like top of Mount Olympus gorgeous.
yeah, they did a great job on that arena. That's I think aesthetically that's one of the better ones. For sure, because there's, like you said, there's detail everywhere, and that also can be an issue when you do EX, because you get caught looking around like, ooh, this is pretty fucking sweet. Oh shit, I just took 2 swords and I'm dead.
Ooh,
This is good.
shiny.
Yeah. And then the final one, which culminated 5.0, was Hades.
Yes. Dude, okay, first of all, the fight, oh boy. And then not only that, but like the final cutscene after, dude.
So
Like
good.
you gotta hit me in the feels and then kick me in the nuts too. Like, man.
That's
Like-
a great description. That's absolutely true.
There's so few video games that have like made me emotional, and Final Fantasy XIV has made me cry multiple times. Twice was in Shadowbringers.
It's got moments, and we'll hit those when we hit MSQ. So from there's a lot of other trials. We don't have to cover all of them. If there are some that you have cleared, what do you think your favorite one was from Shadow?
Weapons.
Okay, which weapon though?
See, that's tough, man.
Diamond weapon. I love
That's my
all of the
favorite.
weapons, but diamond weapon.
That's my favorite.
I'm a story whore, so yes, the fight of Diamond Weapon, the culmination of like the battle of what Diamond. I'm an OG Final Fantasy fan, so I know what Diamond Weapon and all that. I get that. I like how they shifted and plugged it around with this.
Yep.
Diamond Weapon, hands down. Like it was so epic, such a culmination of the series.
I love that fight.
Yeah.
Like, I think an obvious second runner-up would be the Warrior of Light fight.
Yeah, that was my other one.
Yeah, like right there at Diamond Weapon. But just the entire side quest lead up through all of the weapons to Diamond Weapon, getting to pilot your own fucking mech.
Yep.
Oh yes.
Yeah. Being a Gundam for a little bit.
Was it the G Avenger or something?
Yeah. I have not felt like a 12-year-old boy in so many years, but that moment where it's like, hey, you want to pilot a mech? And I was just like, yes.
What was also great about that was I don't know if it was for you guys or not, but it was not a short fight. That particular use of the Gundam.
No.
It took a while, so I was like, dude, I am in this shit.
Sapphire Weapon was involved.
Yeah. Yeah, and we don't have to talk about the other ones. Varys, I think, is kind of a letdown, to be brutally honest.
He's there for glamour on Extreme. That's all I care about. Or Savage, I mean, but yeah, that's all I care about.
And like Castrum Marinum is... It's not a fun fight. I really have a hard time on that one. Maybe that's a personal thing, but yeah, it's... I don't know. That's not my favorite. That's
I think because I'm not as involved in the whole Bashu Resistance storyline as I was in, like, say, the Weapon quest line, it doesn't feel as good to me. That's not to say that they're weak, though. I think both of the large instances associated with the Bashu Resistance are such super difficult, solid instances that I really like them for that reason.
Gotcha.
Like, it felt like outside of doing anything savage or extreme, the first time that I stepped foot in something that had a sharp curve in difficulty.
Yeah. And that feels good. Like even for people who don't push hardcore.
Yeah, it's like, motherfucker, I will one-shot you.
Okay, so that leads us to raids. And looking at our list, let's skip Eden right now because I want to talk about the storyline with MSQ.
Okay.
So the Nier raids I haven't touched.
What?
Actually,
you are missing out,
dude.
I haven't touched the Nier raids, or I haven't played any Nier game.
Okay, I haven't played Nier. That's fine. I haven't.
Okay.
I've looked around when it was in the zeitgeist and coming out and whatnot. It just wasn't my shtick.
Yeah.
But the raids and how they tie it in, man, like I get that it is like the equivalent of like a permanent crossover event. Okay, whatever. But
Sure.
seriously, how it's executed, man, traditional
Pretty
Final
good.
Fantasy fashion. It's fantastic. The execution's on point. It fits flavorfully. Like,
Okay.
yeah.
It does not feel like it doesn't belong. It just feels like another Final Fantasy thing.
Yeah,
That's kinda
like,
nice.
to put it in like comparative means, it's basically like the story of us in Shadowbringers, right? A supplanted hero tossed into another world to try and save their world.
Yeah.
It's literally a microcosm of that story in that raid series.
Also, some of the best music because they dragged it over from Nier, and they also
That's
did
what
like
I heard.
collaborations. Like they mixed one of like a Final Fantasy song with the Nier end song, and they put it together for the last fight, and it's so good.
Yeah, that sounds kind of sick.
Wow. Yeah, that does.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the music
didn't
in
know
this
that.
game, and this is one of the few games that make me want to listen to music. So I might have to give it a shot. You know, that's obviously got a couple of weeks before Endwalker, but we'll see how that plays out.
Yeah, nice. I really do strongly advise you just take a night, queue up for those 3, and just like, oh well, you got to do the quest, so it might be a little bit of like a weekend or something. But
and I don't even know where in the quest I either am or have to be. I guess.
Did you finish
No,
Shadowbringers MSQ?
Yeah.
It's
Then you're
early
good.
on, so
Yeah.
yeah, you're good to
Yeah.
go. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah. But yeah, it really is worth it.
cute.
I do strongly advise if you can get some time, you will not be disappointed.
Okay. Yeah, I'll give it a shot. I don't have it on my queue, but we'll talk about that later. Okay, so those are the Alliance raids. That means we have Delubrum Regine and Delubrum Regine Savage.
So I'm gonna start this real quick here. Regine. It's a fucking roller coaster. Like
I only ran it once and it was easy as fuck.
Dude, you can. All right, man. Like,
wow.
I don't know
Mr.
what to
Showboat.
say. Like,
no. But here's the thing: is I can't have a jaded opinion if I've only had it once, and I got lucky that it was a good group. So
you're like talking shit like I died in this dungeon a lot, I guess, and then you're like fucking one shot Delubrum though, fucking losers.
So we did one shot everything, and I died on only one fight.
Oh my god!
So,
I did.
Okay, you can't comment on this then.
No. I had the same first try, but I still recognized how fucking terrifying all of these fights were.
Actually, that's not true. I ran it a second time with my static members on Monk, having not played it in months, and died like. Actually, I'm remembering this. This is 2 nights ago. I died at least 15 times.
Yeah, that sounds more like it. Yeah,
okay,
that sounds more like it.
Yeah, I did it on. Okay.
My first time was my first time in any new content, and that's watch what everyone else is doing and copy them.
Yep.
So I did jack shit during that fight, but I was there.
I was there.
The second time, I was like, okay, I've seen it. I know what to do. Died 15 times throughout the instance.
Jeez. Yeah, and it was very unforgiving. I also don't know how to play Monk, so that's...
Plus, you have the additional fuck you of your rank going down every time.
Yeah. I mean, you lose like 49k metal at that point. Where
you
I'm
get like 30, or not 30. You get like 300k when you finish it. So
doesn't matter when you die 15 times, my dude.
I think I evened out after that rant.
But like, dude, I've grinded this shit out for my resistance weapon, and
that's probably why you don't love it.
Yeah. Like, I've had some good runs. I can definitely relate to you guys. You know, oh sweet, I get a smooth run. I only died 5
Feels
times.
Good. Right.
Oh, this is great.
But that's where the benchmark is.
From what
funny.
From what I understand, the way that you're supposed to do it, like the go-to for the people that are smart and intelligent, unlike me, they go to the party finder and they're like, hey, have on the buffs, all of these good ones.
Right.
Don't be a shitter. And it's like, just like have the buffs and like show up to that. And
the buffs are very powerful.
Like, like that's supposed to be the huge thing. It's like, hey, bring your buffs, get in chat, and like then they just one-shot it.
Okay.
Like not queuing up for it, but making a group in Party Finder is supposed to be the way to go.
Okay.
That's what I've heard, but I guess
I'm lazy.
Never,
Yeah, I'm not gonna do that.
I'm fine wiping. I'm totally fine with it.
But I'll definitely queue up for it again at some point. So,
I mean, I'll give that a go next time. That's for sure.
Was Perfect Alexander the ultimate they added?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So I can't speak for you guys. I have never done T. And,
nope.
It's a goal of mine, and I do eventually want to do TE. But
I want to do all of them with you dudes.
Yeah.
Like I want to experience the top end of content.
Very fun.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing is like that's why we started looking for a static group on Sundays, because one day, like, hey, it's not a lot, but if you get a good group, like one day's kind of enough right now.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So I'm really excited to try and make something like that happen. So we'll see how that ends up.
You know, that's a really good talking point right there. Just from like actually all of our experience from coming from like WoW raiding to like actual like static grinding in FF14. It's so much more straight to the point. There's no trash. You guys know what you're signing up for. This is the boss. This is your goal. This is what you're gonna kill. You kill it, cool beans. Yep. Maybe get it another time or two, right?
I am so excited. I cannot express as a longtime WoW raider how much I love that there's no trash in any of these raid instances.
We've paid our fucking dues. I'm over it. All right. We don't need it. Here's their justification that drove me nuts is you deal with some of the upcoming boss mechanics on this. Okay, well, I only need to deal with it once to understand how it works. I don't need 10 packs to show me all these different things. Just give me all of it.
Final Fantasy does this thing where it's like, hey, here's this mechanic. I'm going to show you by itself so you can deal with it easily. I'm going to do that for all of my shit. Right. And now here's all of it.
Yeah, and I'm totally okay with that. I'll learn that way any day of the week. So much easier.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so Ultimate's definitely on the list, but I don't think we can really talk about them. The most I know is it's about an 18-minute fight, and it looks amazing.
It does look amazing. Yeah. Absolutely amazing.
Fucking music is
that
balls.
long of a fight. Oh
yeah, God. So the one kill video I watched is 18 minutes and 35 seconds. Nobody dies. And they it was super crispy. So I don't know if it's like 20 minutes. I don't know when the enrage is. But yeah, it looks so fun.
Being the guy that dies at minute 17.
Yeah. And so, let's not go too far. The idea of having a fight that long to me is mind blowing.
Yeah.
Because we are not trained to stay focused that long.
Exactly. And that's the thing. It's like, it's not even just a thing you can fuck up on. It's like, you have to, it's like perfection for 17 minutes straight.
Yeah. And that's content I want to experience. That's
it seems so good.
Well, and the thing is, and this, we talked about this with Relics, it's optional. You don't if that does not sound fun
bragging
to you,
rights.
Yeah, if that doesn't sound like your cup of tea, like perfect playing for 20 minutes straight, cool, no problem, don't try it. But
give me those glowy weapons.
Yeah, for the people
those
who
gear
want
weapons
makes so much sense.
So fucking good.
I think the ones from Ultima are my favorite. I love that crystal blue look they have going on.
Okay.
Yeah. I honestly just want the titles. Glamour's great, but I mean it's not.
Yeah, you shut your heathen mouth. You filthy heathen mouth.
Wow. All right, let's keep going. So we got some beast tribes this expansion. Obviously, Pixie Daily gets a lot of attention for what it is.
Leveling.
Yeah. If you're not doing it already, Pixie Dailies take 3 to 5 minutes a day, and they give you the equivalent of one Shadowbringers dungeon's worth of experience.
Yeah, you should be doing them. I don't even care if you're thinking about playing that alt. Just do it.
Yep.
I didn't even know. So, thank you, gentlemen.
Yeah, you should be doing those.
I
missed 2 weeks because I just forgot about them, and then I went back to it. It was I've more than likely missed out on 15, 20 levels at that point for not having done them. But they take no time. There's maybe 2 combat ones. It's so easy.
Oh yeah, even if you get the combat ones, there's still 5 minutes tops for that much experience.
That being said, that's the only beast tribe I know in Shadowbringers.
Same. There's another. Haven't done them.
Yeah, haven't done
it's like pixies.
Yep. What's the leveling one? Okay, cool. I don't need any of these other ones. I'm just not big on the whole rep grinding thing. I think that, if there's a glamour, I'm obviously not going to chase it. But if there's...
But the pig mount! The pixie pig mount!
Yeah, that's kind of why I'm doing it.
To me, with rep grinds, with it being forced for unlocks in World of Warcraft, if I don't have to do it, I don't want to do it. Like what you were saying though, if there's a cool cosmetic or mount tied behind it, which that elephant is one of them. Eventually I'm gonna get that crazy ass elephant. You bet your ass.
The funny thing though, the really fucking funny thing is the reason you're doing pixies is the rep grind, because that's where you're getting the experience.
but that's the thing is it triple dips. I do want the mount. It does give me XP, and it takes no time. I'll do that for 5 minutes a day every day. Even if I can't play the rest of the day, I will log in and I'll do Pixie Dailies.
Also, it's not really a thing for us now, but it is another way to get materia from the Pixie vendor.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, I don't know the other beast tribes past that. So.
Nope.
Oops.
Yeah, same here actually.
We talked about it in the pre-show. They also added Ishgard Restoration, and none of us have touched it.
I'm never gonna get a house in Ishgard, and that makes me sad.
Yeah. Is that because of money or because they're gonna fly?
Oh no, I have the money. I am just never I'm gonna do the auction thing that they're putting in. But outside of that, there's not a chance in hell I'm ever getting a house in Ishgard.
Yeah, sadly. I really want why am I drawing a blank? Oh my god. I'm gonna get so much flack for this.
Happens every time.
Strigone?
Strigone? Oh,
Shirogane.
Shirogane. Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
I
was like,
I
what?
don't know. I don't know
You're
how
good,
to
dude.
pronounce that shit.
You're good, dude.
I'm sorry. But
That's
yeah,
the only place I want a house.
yeah, that's like my number one. Like
Yeah.
the only thing is like from there, it's like Ishgard's cool. I like snow. I live in Wisconsin, so I like
Ah,
snow.
yes.
Yeah.
Go Menasai. Do you sell the anima?
Yep.
Mmm.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
No, I like the
tried.
aesthetic in Shirogane.
Nox, we're not judging you. Well,
I'm
a
not.
little bit.
I
Just a
get
little.
it.
It's all right.
Just a
all right.
little.
I'll take it.
You made a ninja. I don't want to hear it.
Ninja. Yeah,
That's
there
true.
you go.
Okay, well, I know that it's really good crafting and gathering, so when I eventually push to that, I will be all over it, and I'll be able to talk about it at a later time. But that's as far as that one goes for me.
Oh yeah, no, I have not touched crafting outside of the very basic minimalistic stuff. Whereas my friend is his. It feels like there's this weird subdivision of the player base that it's just crafters. That's their end game, which is amazing.
I get it. It's really good.
Yeah.
I mean, now that I'll have the full expansion of Endwalker, I'm definitely like everything will be 80, like on both sides. I really enjoy a lot of those aspects, so I'll be able to report in on that eventually.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, it's we'll see. So, what's up next?
Save the Queen, Baja Zadnor. Let's
Okay.
talk about some weapons, boys.
So that's actually the reason why I'm putting myself through the torture that is Baja and Xandor. The freaking story's pretty damn great. Like, hot damn.
So I have Zadnor unlocked, but I haven't actually gone in. So that's where my Save the Queen knowledge is.
Mm-hmm.
You can spoil it. I'm not that kind of person. That questline to me is just okay. So the last thing, obviously, is when you finish Delubrum, you get to see the actual queen. Say she's very disappointed in Masija or whatever her name is.
Yep.
My thing is like more Sid is never a bad thing.
Yeah, I love Sid. What a great character. Like, has been the entire time. So,
And I mean, also not the D Gares, but Glamour.
yeah, big true. So the zones themselves,
Boring
I know
as
we
shit.
touched on it. Yeah, I mean they're boring, but for their function, I think Basha's awesome.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
if you're wanting a thing
I
where
like
you can
that.
just go from place to place really efficiently, sure. They look awful.
Yeah, they look terrible. I mean,
Zadnor,
it's
I mean,
supposed
they're
to.
literally a battlefield, man. Like,
Yeah,
is a
they're
battlefield
supposed
supposed to, like, yeah, it's, yeah.
Yeah, it's supposed to look like shit.
Excuse me, this is Final Fantasy, and if I want my battlefield to have rainbows and puppies and sunshine, it better have that.
Push up my glasses.
You know, now I think about it, they don't have, like, they don't really have many dog references, do they? They got
Nope.
cat references left and right.
Yeah,
so many cats.
I don't
Get
see,
the puppies
I don't
outta
see
here.
any puppies.
Oh, there's the murderous one that's in fucking. I don't think he's in Kugane or around it. But just like Stormblood.
Oh, you
They're-
mean Shigane, right?
Yeah.
Shigane,
That
yeah.
fucking killer dog. That's terrifying. It's like I will feast on the blood of my enemies.
Oh shit, that's right.
It's like fucking chill, bro. What the hell?
Be cool, man. So I having never touched Zadnor, aesthetically, is it close to Bacha or?
Baja with snow.
Oh, okay. That sounds boring, unfortunately. How's the flow of doing? It's still skirmishes and critical engagements.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Okay.
I feel Zadnor does it a little bit better than Baja.
Well, I wouldn't say better. It's more so that they just, like, they expect you to not have training wheels on right now.
Gotcha.
So, like, it's better because you're just more experienced with the flow.
Okay.
Right. Yeah.
Well,
Like, eh.
Is it?
But then
and
again,
then,
it does feel more like, well, see, I don't know. I'm kind of torn because again, at that point when you're getting into Xandor, you've already done at least like 50 plus hours of Baja.
yeah,
Yeah.
I've done a lot for sure.
Like, yeah, I don't know. It's kind of it might be a weird Stockholm syndrome.
Also, this is well, one thing that I can at least say for D, and like this is going back into what we were talking about with the Pixie Beast Tribe dailies. It feels like one of those things where you're double dipping.
Okay.
Because people use it to level all the time.
So, I was just gonna ask that about Zadnor. Is because Delibram you have to be 80 to queue into.
I wouldn't say Zadnor. I don't
Okay.
think you can do Zadnor leveling.
Okay.
But like just specifically like Baja, that's it. People use it just like people use the Pixie Beast Tribe stuff. It's like
Absolutely.
this is the quintessential way to level.
Yeah.
Is this place?
Well, it feels more efficient because if you can get into a group while you're in there, which is what I do every time I go in, you know, it's you're farming nonstop. Like that is what you were doing, and you hit all of them, and it feels extremely efficient. You can get like 10 to 12 done in like a 20-30 minute period, and all of a sudden you're like, I've gained a level.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Not to mention, you get all of your level 80 stuff.
Yeah, that's a huge perk. That's actually how I fell in love with Red Mage, because I hadn't had Scorch to this point, and I was like, this is weird. I don't like that I have to pick one of these when I get through my combo. And then I got Scorch at 80 and was like, oh, okay, this is great. I can deal with this. Cool. Okay, so I'll give Zadnor a try. I haven't, I just been so focused on leveling, unfortunately.
Hey, near raids first, buddy.
Yeah.
Near raids first.
Yeah.
I mean, is there a... So,
if you're gonna go off your course for any reason, near raids.
Okay.
Hard agree.
Okay, I'll do that. That works for me. I also in the pre-show we talked about ocean fishing and how it sounds amazing, but none of us know what it is.
That's another thing. Like just the crafting stuff. I've looked at it. I have not gone into it.
Yeah.
I think specifically for us three, because most of our experience is in Shadowbringers, the main thing I've been focused on just classes.
Sure.
All of the main classes. I just want all of those as high level as I can get them.
See, I want one of each role. That's what I was going for.
Yeah.
I did kind of give up on the healer just because I conceded that I am probably gonna. My main healer is gonna be Sage, so I don't want to like level something up just because I know I'm gonna drop it. So,
right.
Yeah.
No, I get that for sure. I leveled the same way. I wanted one of the roles because I'm currently in the process of doing all of the role quests.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yep. And that was one of these.
Too,
I mean, so I don't remember these in Stormblood, and that's because I mostly like just crushed Stormblood MSQ and didn't really pay attention.
So the role quests are new to Shadowbringers.
Okay.
Because they're cutting back.
Stories.
They're cutting back on individual class stories,
right? Okay,
and instead going for a role story.
Yeah,
because
I thought.
Like every class got a single quest at level 80. There was no build up throughout the levels.
Okay, that actually bothered me too. The quest identifier is the same as a normal quest.
Yes.
That
yes.
1000% perturbed the fuck out of me because I thought for the longest time I didn't have a machinist one at 80, and I'm like, what the hell is this? So my class quest ends at this? What the hell, man? I want to tell my awesome machinist mentor that I'm doing some cool shit.
In the last episode, we mentioned how there's this efficiency to Final Fantasy XIV where it is really good about designating each of the quests and what kind of like priority they should have.
Yeah.
They do not do that with the level 80 class quests because they all show up as normal. You don't need to do these quests.
Gotcha.
They should have been blues, just like all of your other class quests.
100%.
Well, they could have unlocked something, like
they
maybe
do.
It's a
you get your class armor from doing it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay. It's surprising it's not a Blue Cross then, because so my healer one's at like I'm on the level 76 one, so that's the farthest I've gotten, just because I've been so focused on leveling. But so yeah, I'll be doing the Astro one at some point.
Yeah. Yep.
Sweet. Well, I'll glam to that. How's that, guys?
Yeah.
Because honestly, I've shown a picture of how my Catboy looks right now, and it's awful. So if you equipped an item on a female and then glam or Fantasia and go to male, is there 2 different armor types for the chest piece looks terrible on my character?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
It used to be like in 1.0 to like 2.0. There was this thing where like I think a great example is the Dragoon level 60 set or level 50 set.
Okay.
Like the midriff for a female is exposed, whereas on a dude it's like plate armor or something.
Interesting.
But they stopped doing that, going like heaven's word forward. So it's usually like 1-for-1. If it looks like this on a woman, it looks like this on your dude.
Okay. Then the Astro crafted 510 gear, the healing gear, looks fucking terrible. So I will transmog or fucking glamour to the other one when I get it.
You look like Urianger.
Oh, that sucks. He looks like shit. I don't like his.
Wow,
It's so
D,
boring.
you're so fucking judgmental.
He looks like he
shitting on
walks
everything
around
today,
in a
D.
linen cloth.
You just
Yeah,
need to
it's
get.
Swolianger, man. He's in his fucking toga. Like, come
He's in
on.
his fucking toga. All right, I'm sorry. Maybe I'm too harsh. Glamour does nothing for me. All right. So another feature they added was Explorer mode, which I've dabbled with. I've taken a few screenshots. I don't know about you guys.
I've never used it, but I love the premise of it. Like, I like that they're just like, hey, you want to take screenshots in these dungeons without having to clear them? Go ahead.
Mm-hmm. Well, and also not even just having to clear. How many times after you get done with like a leveling roulette or something are you really gonna go back and be like, all right, I want to take a glam of this? Like, you're not.
Yeah,
You're fucking
yeah.
not. So that's, I mean, that kind of goes hand in hand. But I've done it a little bit, and it's really great feature. Honestly, just it's like a weird quality of life thing. You know, like it wasn't necessary, but we're happy it's here.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So. Cool.
I feel like, well, no, I was going to say Explore mode. It's just another one of those things that we love about 14's devs that I feel like really hits the nail on the head of like, no one really thought of this and maybe didn't really ask for it. They gave it to us anyway. Yeah. It's like, hey, here's this cool tool. Have fun.
Yeah. And that's, that's why that I've been so attracted to this game is because you have people who they genuinely care and they want to give you something. Yeah. Okay. So then they gave us data center visits, world visits, not data centers. So any world on your data center. I don't know about you guys. I do go to other not data centers, other world servers.
Oh yeah, all the time.
And I purchase things off other AHs and put them on ours.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No, that's the best way to do it. That's literally
such good money.
Easy flips.
Yeah.
You just like literally go to like, well, in my case, Hyperion is actually one of the ones where you would, come to sell because it's one of the higher ones. Yeah. So I forget which one I had. Like there's one on the Aether one, but yeah, it's pretty great. Especially you just scope out like the either like the ARR items that you can or the relic items that you can buy.
Right.
Or what else? Tombstone items, those are great too.
Nice. Okay, I didn't even think of tombstone items. That's a great idea.
Yeah, dude, buy up. Just ship all the items or the tombstone items on your server, and then just start server hopping to see where it's most expensive to sell them and ship them out.
Yep, it's genius. I've made this comment to some friends of mine, but I feel like I could literally make 5 to 6 minute YouTube videos of me just buying stuff off the AH that people have put for less than vendor and reselling it to the vendor for profit.
Or the other scummy thing where they're buying glamour off of the vendor from leveling and reposting it onto it and people buy it.
I honestly I've made 26. I've started tracking. This is how crazy. I've made 26K just this week, just from mindlessly buying items that people have posted for less than vendor price, and then just resell it myself.
I don't get it. I don't.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you read it? Why it's like.
And like if you place shit on the market board, it automatically goes to the sell vendor price. So you are actively trying to make it lower. Like, I think people just don't get it, and they're like, "Why did you give me this random number?" But yeah, I make a ridiculous amount of gil doing something that is ridiculous in premise. So yeah, World Visit has been very lucrative for that as well.
And they even get less cut of it because there's still like the quote unquote taxes.
Correct. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, there's an item that I look out for all the time that vendors for 1K, and I've seen it as low as $2.99. I'm like, all right, I'll take that. Thank you. Fucking idiot.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right.
Take like 80 of those.
So one of the biggest features that came out in Shadowbringers was the new Game Plus. And while I haven't had time, I'm so stoked.
It is such a cool feature.
Yeah.
It is so cool. The idea of just being able to play through all of the cool story again is that is like, it's not something MMO players like us would ever consider or give a shit about, but it's like, I would love to play through this story again.
Yeah. There are some stories for sure.
Like, well, yeah, I was just gonna say. Well, with me, I don't want to obviously play through the whole thing, right? But there's a couple, you know.
You don't have to redo the whole thing and start over. It's pick which one you want.
Like there's some certain cutscenes stick out for everybody, you know.
Yeah, of course.
Smile befits a hero. Yeah.
Yep, of course.
Well, have any of us tried it? Because what I'm wondering is, like, is it something where you can just select a quest, or is it you just start the quests over?
You start that. So you essentially, it has it broken down into specific chapters. Yeah.
Oh,
and you basically play out a chapter.
Right.
Which it's really very well done, in my opinion, for how I figured it would be kind of infantile. And it's like, all right, you have to start this expansion at this particular point. But no, they have it broken up really well.
Yeah.
So highly recommend, especially for people who just either bought the story, which shame, and or people who they were trained by WoW to get to endgame, so they kind of
you all know who you are, WoW Mythic Raiders. You all know who you are.
It's well worth your time, and the fact that you can break it up and do it in an order, worth it. So definitely highly recommend.
Man, the sheer amounts of shit all these WoW Raiders got for skipping right to Shadowbringers, and they're just like right into the savage like Eden fights.
Yeah, I'm on the, you know, like, for those guys in particular, like,
that's
I'm
what
on
they
the
want.
fence. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's
Who
what they
cares?
want. It's not like they're saying the story's bad. It's like, I want to fight the end boss. That is my thing.
I want to see what your raid's like. Cool. Okay, I can get behind that. Like, I don't. It's your money. Do whatever.
Yeah, it's your money and it's your experience.
Yeah.
You know, it's not up to me to tell you what to do.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's only when there's that opposite situation where they do the skip and then complain about the story that they didn't.
Yeah.
That pisses me off.
Well, didn't that happen to one of the like bigger streamers?
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, Quinn.
I
don't
remember his fucking name, but like that's exactly what he did. He skipped the story and was like, "Oh, the story's so bad."
Story sucks. Yeah, it's like, you didn't even play it. So, all right. So speaking of story, let's do it. MSQ 5.0. We don't have to go super in depth about like small stuff. What's your favorite zone while leveling?
Ooh,
It's definitely tough.
You know, probably say the Fairy Lake area. I forget the name offhand.
Ilmeg.
Yes, Ilmeg. I like it. It was like how can I put it? It felt jovial, right? Like it felt like a like serene, happy place to be, right? Mm-hmm. But then the more you got into it, the more and more the how can we say, the quote unquote real fairy mythos started to come in.
Yeah,
and it's like, oh, you're telling me the sea fairies, quote unquote, like to just like kidnap people and keep them down there as their pets?
Yep.
Like even now, going through it, like the Pixie Beast Tribe stuff, they keep alluding to how they're like, I want to kidnap you and keep you here forever.
Yeah.
And that's terrifying.
And then they laugh it off. They're just like, ha. You're like, that's
JK.
Yeah.
This is why I go home every night.
That's that is definitely one of the better zones.
I think mine's Lakeland. Like I love the opening zone. I thought it was super solid.
Yeah, I definitely did think it was a super solid one. I think for lore implications, my favorite while playing it was the Greatwood. I just really loved the whole like aesthetic. Yeah, you know, and, like the whole aesthetic of that zone, plus the lolly ho. Like, I mean,
lolly ho.
Yeah.
No.
It's
lahi. It's lahi. Do you know lahi?
Yes. Jesus.
God.
That was probably one of the best memes for like a good 2 weeks on the subreddit. It was just so ridiculous. But I think lore wise, I really liked the whole like, the mystics did this, you know, before our time, thousands of years ago. Like, I don't know, that was cool to me.
I think my favorite implication, like just going through Shadowbringers, is one, I loved how they flipped this whole thing on its head, where it's like, no, you're the warrior of darkness now.
Yeah,
you're
really
good. There is no such thing as this is a good thing. Like the light is not necessarily good, and darkness is not necessarily evil.
Right.
It is exactly how you use them.
Well, and it alluded to the whole Ardbart.
Yeah,
Ardbert storyline. You know, like that was it. They tied that in fantastically, and I think they definitely. Go ahead.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but like, because when we fought Ardbert back then, or when we did, right?
Yeah.
That was when he was technically a warrior of darkness.
Yeah, and they talked about it. They called him the Warrior of Darkness, or the group called themselves the Warrior of Darknesses, or whatever.
And how they actually touched on that, and actually how, like, you could see from like the character development side how that, like, he lamented that was a choice that him and his crew had to take.
Had
to. They realized there was no other option. Like, dude, that shit's deep.
It's pretty big.
Yeah.
If we don't do this, our entire world is going to die.
Right. What an implication.
And not just that.
Not only that, they knew more, because who was basically giving them this information? Not only your world, but there's a fair chance that other worlds too.
Were too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like, that's how they got the hero in them to do the bad shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was, and it's like the implications that it was their fault.
Yep.
Like they were so good at being heroes that they just fucked over their own world.
Right. So good though. So good.
Damn, that's so messed up to think about. Damn.
Yeah. It's.
You saved the world way too hard that you damned it.
Yeah, like that
level of storytelling though.
Yeah. Oh God. I love the implication of, like, as you're going through, the main villain is your party companion.
Yeah.
Dude. Yeah. Like, how they danced around that for so fucking long too. Like, Emmett Selk, like, dude, whoever
so good.
Like, whoever like was in charge of like the editing or like writing of his lines and his inclusion, like 1000% is like, it's fucking masterpiece. Like,
what makes him? He's like my favorite villain of any video game ever. Like, he's up there with like the fucking Joker for me. I know I love a villain when I can listen to their evil monologue and I'm like, fuck, he kind of makes a point though.
Yeah.
It's not until the very end where he's like, you are all nothing to me and I'm going to kill you all, that I'm finally like, okay, well, now I have to kill you.
Yeah. I literally, dude, when he said that, I was like, damn, bro. Like,
well, and the voice actor.
Much.
The voice actor was great. I just looked it up. It's Renee Zagger. I hope I pronounced that right. But the voice actor was fantastic. Like, it gave the character such a great
and
tone.
I don't know like how deep into like the fan theories either of you go, but there's like all of these cool, huge implications, like during the end of of Shadowbringers, where you finally merge with your other part of your soul, that being Ardbert, another fragment of you. Yeah. Fucking Emmett Selk sees his old best friend.
Yeah.
And that broke his goddamn heart.
No.
How
I
did
forgot
they,
his name. Damn it, this is gonna bother me.
Elidibus?
No.
No. Our name.
Yeah.
Azim. We're Azim.
Azim,
Azim,
yep.
yeah.
And it's like I could not imagine that. Like the heartbreak that would go through me. It's like I see this random schmuck hero and he's like kind of badass and I'm like, okay, maybe I finally found my dude that's like kind of okay. Maybe I can finally entrust my mission to the new races.
Yeah.
And then we fail him, quote unquote, and he's like, I'm fucking done with you, you're dead.
Right.
We merge with a fragment, and the person he sees out of the shadow is his long dead best friend.
Yeah. Well, what creative and fantastic writing to make us care for a villain.
Mm-hmm. Like in the Warrior of Light fight right at the end.
Yep.
Dude, the wave. Like I see, that's when I teared up. I'm not gonna fucking lie. Like that was like, dude, wow. Like I didn't. I just literally didn't have anything else to say. Like I was just in shock, kind of deal.
Yeah. Definitely.
It's like obviously their methods over the eons got worse and worse and worse as they became more and more desperate.
Right.
But at the end of it, they just wanted to save their friends and family, just like we do.
Yeah, exactly. It humanized them and made them, like make us connect. And that's, I mean, there are not a lot of games that can do that level of connection.
I think unique. that's why so many people are saying how disappointed they are that Xenos is going to be like the end boss, maybe
I'm
potentially, because we don't have that same like I can relate to you connection with Xenos. Xenos is. Go ahead.
I don't mean to cut you off, but how they handled Shadowbringers with the inclusion of like this main villain, right, MXL, and then they basically left Xenos like off to the freaking wayside, right?
Right.
We've been anticipating a fight with this Mamma Jamma for an entire goddamn expansion.
Yeah.
You're telling me you don't trust Square Enix to fucking nail that?
Yeah.
Oh, I do. I for sure do.
That's what I'm saying. Like
I love.
Let's do this.
I love Xenos. I love Xenos as a villain.
Villain.
I love like villains like Emmett Silk, where it's like, oh my god, I can totally see this guy's point of view. Yep. But I also love villains where I'm like, yeah, no, you're the bad guy, and I love that you're just the bad guy.
Exactly. There's no guesswork.
Xenos is like this weird psycho personality where he's like, you're my best friend. Come kill me.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Like, I will only die for you.
Yeah.
He's willing to burn the world to give us a fitting arena to fight in.
Yeah.
He is fucking insane, and I love him for it.
Yeah, and that level of chaos is what really makes him such a great villain. And I know people say they're not happy. I think I'm stoked. I think that is going to be a great final boss.
I think what people, like the players I talk with, like I think what they don't appreciate is just how devoted Xenos is as a villain to you, the main character.
Sure.
His entire thing is about you and revolves around you. We're not talking about Emmett Silk with some master plan that he's been working on for eons. We aren't talking about like some fucker from back in Heaven's Word where it's like, oh, I'm an evil dragon, brr. Xenos' entire character arc with regards to Endwalker is, I have set everything up to fight you.
But I think the reason for that is, I think, and I don't want to talk Endwalker just yet, but I think that's because he's the Zodiac, like, primal, or like sacrifice that gets summoned, kind of like how Gunhilder and like Ysael for Shiva, like he's the, what is that called? Catalyst? Yeah. So I think he's the Zodiac catalyst, and I think we're the Hydaelyn one, and that's why it's going to be the final battle. And I'm fucking stoked.
This is something, maybe you two can correct me on it, because it's something I'm a bit kind of squidgy on with regards to the lore. But I thought the idea of our character, like the old us from way back in the past before we were shattered into all the fragments, is that he didn't approve of Zodiac or Hydaelyn.
Yeah.
He said both were bad. He's like, you guys need to stop summoning these fucking gods that are tearing us apart. And then we exploded with everybody else.
I'm still a little lost on that one. But I
don't know if
they'll
we're
explain it.
Yeah, I don't know if we're her champion or if we're just someone that's like kind of Heidelin leaning. Yeah,
I'm definitely interested to see how they tie that story up. But let's wrap this thing up. MSQ, what did you think about the final cinematic and like the whole duty?
Oh, like are we talking like end like 5.5, like going into Endwalker?
Yeah, we didn't really talk about 5.3. But yeah, I'm really interested in 5.5. I think we all know how emotional 5.3 is.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it just hits so hard.
I love how we talked about all this shit and we did not mention one fucking time the Crystal X arc and how amazing of a homie he is.
Oh, great character. Fantastic character. And most people, I'm not saying you guys, but most people knew who that was.
Oh yeah, I did for sure.
Yeah,
I was like, oh yeah, Catboy.
Yeah, at what point? Well, and like the speculation was you can't see his tail.
You're not fooling nobody, Catboy.
Yeah, come on, we fucking know. All right, we've seen those ears. But no, like 5.5, the way they wrapped it up, I just was like, I cannot wait.
Oh yeah, guys, we are so close. We are so fucking close.
That's why I'm like, they amped up a fight for an entire expansion. We didn't even get a taste, like, and how that ending is when like Xenos is like, yeah, I'm ready now.
Yeah.
Like, dude, that's just
Can't
like,
wait.
oh man, I'm ready now. I'm coming at you, Xeno. Like, dude.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, good stuff.
Also, how do we feel about God? What's his name? Crazy laughy teenage
Fan
boy.
Daniel.
Fan
Oh,
Daniel.
no, even
Yeah.
no.
He's
No.
It's a love-hate character. You either love how ridiculous he is, or you hate it.
that's my thing. Is like I have both. I love his ridiculous, over-the-top villain character, and I hate him because it's like fuck. I did not want to hear this laugh ever again.
I think. Oh, go ahead.
I was just saying the reason why I hate him is a little bit more nuanced because like literally how they portrayed him, his motives, and his story. I want to stress his story.
Yeah.
Because he's not like the other Asians.
Right.
Yeah.
Like he is not like he's an Asian, but he does not follow the same motives. Does not follow that same.
He's fragmented, just like we are.
Yes.
Exactly.
To the point where he wants to destroy everything. That is literally like the textbook psychopathic. I'm gonna blow up the world. Like BBEG, you know, big bad evil guy.
I was reading somewhere where like that's typical Final Fantasy though. Like fucking like 6 as an example. The last end boss is the clown guy. What's his name?
Kefka.
Kefka.
Oh,
like Kefka's entire thing is like, yeah, no, I just want to watch the world burn.
Yeah.
But that
Well,
was
that's-
also like they actually commented that was like their shtick on like the Joker of sorts though.
Yeah.
So that's a little.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
I see
I
what
would
you mean.
not. I would never compare Fan Daniel to the Joker. Joker is, yeah, no. Fan Daniel's just, I'm crazy.
Yeah, literally, he's just playing into the crazy, and I don't know, I don't like it.
He's not who I'm looking forward to fighting. He's
Yeah,
just
me
a side
either.
character.
I look forward to
Yeah.
fighting him to get rid of him and put him in a white freaking aura site, so I never have to see him again. It's like,
Yeah.
Knock, smash.
yeah, like oh.
Well.
Because I hated him in Stormblood. I 1000% hated him in Stormblood.
Yeah. He's
And
a
then when
terrible
I was
character.
At least in Stormblood, he was a conniving piece of shit.
Yeah.
Like he had a purpose.
yeah, he had character. This is like you're
Now he's just crazy.
a fucking madman. Like
I'm unhinged.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm super excited. I think we're gonna see a lot. I'm just excited for what 6.1 has to offer, but we'll talk about that in a future episode.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I mean, I was gonna say I think that's all we had left, boys.
Yeah.
So I think that's gonna be it for episode 3. Thank you for watching, guys. You know, if you're watching this on YouTube, please, as always, like, comment below, subscribe to the channel if you feel so inclined. Wherever you get your podcasts, you know, come and listen to us. Right now, we're on Spotify, and you have a Spotify. Don't look at me like that through your YouTube page. You have it. Yeah. So join us this week. We're going to talk about job changes that are coming up in Endwalker.
Yeah.
Talking about each class, some more than others. We We don't play
We're not
all of
experts
them.
on all of them.
Sorry.
We'll talk about what we know.
Yes.
Yeah, and we're gonna break down the different things we've seen from the 2 live letters and the media tour so far. Maybe 3, because spoilers.
Yep.
Yeah. Thanks, dudes.
Definitely.
This has been the best. This has been Best in Slot Radio.
Awesome. I'm DTG.
I'm Ez.
And I'm Knox.
We'll see you next time.
He left the thing.
He did it again. He did it again. Oh, dude, that's hilarious.
It
Hold on,
still
I gotta
says
take this
live.
call real quick.
It still says live.
That's so funny.